All right, I got asked this very interesting question from my WhatsApp group uh, member. And the question was, Loisa, would you give anyone a second chance? I kind of asked the person, like, in what context? Like, is it relationship, love, is it business, or is it general overall? Okay. Says I'll make a video on this, and this is my response. Now, I've not planned out what to say. I'm just going very naturally on camera. Okay. You can give me your thoughts. What do you think? See, where I think if you follow my channel over the this year itself, I gave my wife a second chance for breaking a very sacred, very very sacred rule, and that was never take a single penny from my bank account and give it to somebody else without asking me. You can, I will say yes, I will say no. That is my discretion, but never ever do it secretly without asking me. And she did it twice, and she didn't do it out of any bad intention. She did it to kind of quote unquote help someone for the sob story, which later on turned out to be bullshit, which she learned the hard way. And she also learned you give money, you never get it back in return. It was someone who stays here only, and she gave the money. She wouldn't have got it back unless, and it is only because I intervened. And now she regrets it so badly because this person ignored her when she asked the money back, ignored her and treated her like dirt. Exactly what I predicted. So my wife realized that she had made a mistake, and it's not that I forgave her totally. She has to pay the price for it, and the price for it is ever since that day, she gets only a fixed allowance. Before it was unlimited allowance. It was always I would buy her gold, I would take her out and give her the most expensive, the best experiences. Now everything is budget, and she has to manage within the budget. And to this date, she is so pissed off, so angry. What she did. She's not angry with me. She's angry with her and what she did. So, the first answer to your question, do I believe in giving second chances? I would say that it all depends on who the person is, what the relationship is, and you need to evaluate a lot of other factors. She's the mother of my child. She's someone whom I've spent now, I think, 7, 8, 9 years, whatever. And we are going to stay together for, until the time I die or she dies or whatever. So this was something I really had to look into, or I would have straight away divorced. Straight away divorced and not get married again. This was going to be my last ever marriage. I had made up my mind on that. Okay. So, and if you actually look at it, it wasn't so severe that, I had to destroy the relationship. But at the same time, it was not a very small thing. Because always remember, first it becomes small, then grows bigger, 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 bigger. I had to cut it down, stop it. So breaking trust, remember, it's not $1 or $10 or $100. It's trust. If once trust breaks, it's very hard to trust a person. It's like if you believe the person will never sleep around or have sex with someone, and one fine day you find the person smooching someone else. So just imagine if you never caught the person, it would have gone back to worse, right? Okay. So the first example is I have given second chances, but to someone who deserves it. So I had to evaluate the situation, the person, the impact of my decision on my daughter, on my family, on my life, on her life. Okay. And given the magnitude of what she had done. Okay. So second chances depends. So that is love and relationships. With regards to my ex-girlfriends, schoolmates, relatives, I've tried giving second chances and tried, kind of establishing friendship or a communication network. I've always regretted. Very lately, there was this girl who I have we had our ups and downs. She was like the girl who was dating for some time. And she got back to me saying that I'm sorry for being psychotic in those days. I was really mad. I've changed a lot. I've evolved. I would like to extend the hand of friendship and just friends, nothing sexual, nothing. So I said, fine. And she has a guy she's getting married to. She came back. Everything was fine. Everything was fine until we had a small disagreement in one small area that was related to my WhatsApp group. And I had to put my foot down. And obviously, because she knew me from very many years, her ego got hurt. And I have changed a lot from what I was. I don't take shit and crap from anyone. You were my ex-girlfriend. I'm not going to keep you at that level, not give you those privileges. So she said, okay, I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to be part of that. For me, it's very simple. I just block and delete. And because I blocked and deleted, she got very offended, very hurt. So even though she and I both had the best of intentions to make it work, it didn't work out. So a lot of people like that who have known in my previous lifestyle or previous phase, I've tried to bring them in. But what I've realized is, it just doesn't work out because they will not change. Many of them have the same old habits, sarcasm, or they take you for granted, or they disrespect you, or they don't respect your privacy, or, I know this guy. So it becomes too complicated. Like even some of my elder relatives, I tried to give them a second chance, and then they started commenting about how my wife looks, how my kid looks, what religion am I following, what am I doing, why am I behaving this way. I was like, please, I don't need this shit. I blocked them off. So I realized they're never going to change. They're still going to be the same old individuals, God and this and that, and they think they're still dealing with a small kid that they were dealing with. So relationships. Now, when it comes to business and when it comes to business with what I'm doing, there have been, okay, first let me address, there have been stalkers, there have been people who hate me online, people who talk crap about me, people who, there have even been individuals who have sent their nudes and talking disgusting stuff about my wife and kids. And, obviously I have to keep them away. And at some point, maybe over the course of 5-6 years, then they finally get a girlfriend or they get married. And then they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I've turned over a new leaf. I realized my mistake. I'm a changed man now. I can sense that they really want to make a change. I'm not sure how far they'll succeed in being consistent with what they're saying. But I don't want to take a risk. It's not worth it for me. And I don't want to bring them into my life. Even though they say, please unblock me, please, now I'm with the family. Imagine a guy used to send his nudes and do disgusting stuff on small video clips and send it to me. And now he is showing me with him and his family and his child. I understand that you have changed, you have evolved, but I don't want to take a risk. Because you just don't know when that person will snap and turn back into the same old madness. Remember, there are people who have done things, very bad things, when they have gotten drunk. And that also sometimes with, underage children. You can never give them a second chance. Never, ever, ever give them a second. No matter how much remorse they show, or they are sad, or they say, I lost control. No, it's a risk. I don't want to take that risk. Okay, now coming to business, like I was saying, so I was talking about stalkers and people who have interacted and who have come back to me with an apology. There are even people who say, Loy, before I used to hate you, I used to talk crap about you. I was always like, why you're talking shit about Dubai, India, relationships, friendships. But today I've realized, fine, you've realized, fine, but I don't want to get to know you. We'll keep it at that. You have realized, I wish you well. Now, and finally, it comes down to business, okay? Business and relationships, business relationships. It all depends from client to client. There has been one guy very filthy rich. Filthy rich is not the word. The guy used to literally tip me. He used to give me tips of $1,000 every time. Like, just imagine, he'll book a session and then tip me $1,000 because he was into crypto. He was into very high risk, high volatile stuff. But the problem with him is because he used to take all these substances for, ayahuasca and weed, and he used to get high. And when he used to get high and he used to call me, he'll still give me the money. He used to talk a lot of crap, and then it went to bad to us where he started to abuse me and verbally and talk really like he's calling me just to vent out his frustrations. Over the period of time, it became more like, from being a consultant coach, I became like his agony aunt or his girlfriend or something like that. He used to literally call me up when he's high and pay the money, but abuse and all that. So I obviously stopped the relationship. I obviously refused to give him any service. After a couple of, I think, months or whatever, he sincerely apologized. He was like, I was getting bad to us, want to, redo things. In his case, what I did is, I thought about it, and I increased the payment structure with him more than 5 times. And it really took him aback. He was like, what? He said, come on, man, I used to tip you and all these things. I said, you wanted to know what would it take for you to come back, and if you still wish to have those conversations, I have nothing, no bad blood against you. You paid me money, I gave you the service, you paid me money, we don't have anything, we just have those bad memories. But if you want to restart the relationship, these are the new terms and conditions, where every session you'll be paying me 5 times more than what you are paying me before. So before, if you was paying me, let's say, example, he was paying me $200, now it is $1,000 per session, and that's about it. And before, if I would give him like free extra sessions, no, free, exactly what it is. Okay, and I also made it clear that any abuse or any this thing, then the fee would double the next time. So it would be maybe $1,000, I'd take $2,000. And for every bad word, I told him, every bad word I abuse, you have to give $500. So he was pretty shocked. He was like, what the fuck are you talking? Again, I could sense that anger in it. I said, like I said, I can still sense this thing. I have nothing against you. You can think about it and get back to me. He decided not to take my services anymore, which is perfectly fine. But like I said, it can't be like how it was before. That was one client. The other one was this female who I helped her reach the level of CEO, kind of a very long-term relationship, very, very long. And I would not say it's because of me. It was joint effort, and it was very much luck. And I also managed to, I was a guide in terms of getting a husband or, a family and all that. And when success went to her head, that is where she started to, obviously more money, more success, more opportunity. She started to get all these new age woo-woo coaches, like, who'll align her chakras, who'll do the tantric power and all that stuff. And then they started to identify me as a bad coach, the guy who stood with you from nothing to where you were, and now you are treating me like shit. So I was treated very embarrassingly, and she dumped me in the most unceremonious manner, where she said, do I owe you anything? How much I'll give you here as a tip? And she threw some amount of money, like as if I was a dog. I just kept quiet. I didn't say anything. But like they say, life is too unpredictable. There are ups and downs. And very soon she had problems with her marriage first, because her husband was a very rich businessman. So, ups and downs were there. And, market conditions and fluctuations, and then the stress of marriage, and her health after she delivered. Things were not the same as it was. She started to put on pounds, health deteriorated, and obviously, all those fake coaches all vanished, and now she wanted a proper coach, and she wanted to get back to me again. And I thought about it, and she really chased me for nearly, I think, a year and a half. Finally, I told her what my fees were, and she couldn't afford it because she was no longer the rich female that she was. I said, well, that is my rate, and whether you like it, take it or leave it. That's about it. The most unpredictable example I'll give you is a female. I'll not give you her details because you will get her name immediately. This female I had a very soft corner for, very, very soft corner. And she did a lot of good things for me during my younger days. So I reciprocated the thing. I was charging her because, I need to feed my family, and I can't take, just because you did for me something 20, 30 years ago, I carry it on my back. I did give her a lot of free stuff, but now it's going to be charged. So everything was fine. I was charging her maybe 20% of what I would normally charge. But then when I started to realize that she was taking me for granted, for example, not if we have an appointment today, not sticking to it. If I tell you to do something, you don't do it. If I am taking the role as a coach and you are talking to me as if I'm your bum chum boyfriend, hey, come on, yaar, come on, don't act such a silly he, and I don't like all that. So when I realized that she was taking things for granted, I finally put her in a place. I said, boss, listen, this is not going to work out. And she didn't expect that because I stood my ground, and she also has her ego. And she tried to show me an attitude which I don't accept, especially when I'm giving you a cheap price, a very, very reasonable price, 20%. But then after we had a total disagreement, well, she wanted my coaching again, which I totally refused. And she wanted the same rate, 20% no. And when she said, okay, I'll pay you 100%, I said no. I said, not interested. So, and totally blocked, delete, finish. So that was one. The final example I'll give you is someone who I literally help build everything. And I don't want to go too much into detail. But this female, I gave my heart, my soul. I helped build her up. She was like my daughter. I always treated her like my daughter, and made her the best. There's physically made her the best in terms of fame, money, success, marriage, relation, everything. I built her up. I can openly challenge. And for a short period of time, I'll tell you, it was unbelievable. What she earned, the level at what she was earning, I could not believe. I've seen rags to riches story, I could not believe. She became, take my words, and I'll be very careful when I say it, she became a millionaire. She became a millionaire so much so that if she had maintained what she did, she could, maybe for the next 2 or 3 generations, her daughter would never need to work, her granddaughter would never need to work. That was the level of success. But then what happens is, success gets to your head. And for me, one thing is I don't like disrespect. I just cannot take it. She was living the dream. Private jets, caviar, 5-star parties, being featured in magazines. And I was mentoring her on each and every. She even started meeting the who's who of the elite club, and she would tell me, and I was like, oof, bloody hell. Powerful people, very, very powerful people. She got you could say, she really got a good husband. A good man. He's a good man. There's nothing bad I'll say about him. But all this got to her head whereby I have this habit. If I shout at you, if you're like a student, I shout at you where you're wrong. So success got to a head where she was like, she tried to school me. And she was like, listen, behave yourself. Sorry, what? So imagine all the while she's like a child to me. And now she's trying to school me. Didn't work out. So I made it very clear one day. Sorry, but I can't accept this. Okay, I can't. And she was telling me, Lloyd, do you know that if you say bye to me, she was telling me, just a minute, there are no second chances. She's telling me my own theory. I said, oh, wow. Like in Hindi, they say, no, Meri Billi Mujhe Hi Meow. So my cat is, whom I taught how to meow, is trying to meow me now. So I just kept quiet. I didn't say anything, but I'd made sure whatever deliverables were there given, and I blocked, delete, and she knew that I was going to do that. And she did make it a point to let me know, well, I was expecting this from another account. I kept quiet. We never kept in touch ever since. I'll not tell you what exactly is the problem. But they say, life has its ups and downs. And it's not that she went through a disaster, but she wanted a friend to talk to. She wanted someone to talk to, someone to guide her on a very specific issue. It was not a life or death issue, but she definitely wanted. And guess who she had to approach? And she did try to be a little cutesy with me by sending a gift to my daughter. She is practicing what I've taught her. Sending a gift to my daughter, sending a gift to my wife, and wishing her on a special occasion. And she tried to be nice to me and all that. But, once, like they say, you break a glass, can't fix it. Once, you puncture something, you can't. So I know, you must be saying, hey, just keep it professional, man. Just keep it business. But when, training and mentoring is like raising a child. And when that child, grows up, like that movie, Dangal, Amir Khan, he raises his daughters. But only difference is there, those were his daughters. This is not my actual daughter. But I helped you achieve the sun, moon and stars. And somewhere down the line, you forgot. So I preferred not to. She did reach out once or twice. She tried again. She said, I'm open to whatever. Now, I can definitely hike up my price, and I know that she maybe will agree, maybe. I can even go 5 times, 10 times, because she is that rich. I don't know if she'll agree 10 times, but I didn't say it. But I didn't respond. So anyway, yeah, you can make out from my tone of my voice, this was a very emotional one, because you spend half your coaching life bringing someone from zero, nothing, to multi-millions, and then they forget who brought them there. It's like having this, boxing, you have this coach who made you reach world championship, and then you dump this coach and you go with the new coaches until you lose. And when you lose, you realize, oh, my mistake, I'm sorry, I apologize. In some cases, it's happily ever after. In my case, until now, as of now, no. Anyway, since you asked me this very powerful question, my WhatsApp member, I hope this answered your question. Like I said, I don't wish anyone bad. It doesn't make sense. And it's not like you have to stick to me, suckle on my bosom until you grow up. No, you have to, my job is to make sure that you get your wings and fly. I charge you money for that. It's a business relationship, but one which is very sincere. But if you break, then there's a price to pay for it. So anyway, this is what I wanted to share with you. Let me know your thoughts. Sorry if I got a little emotionally carried away with the last example. It was a very powerful one. Good, bad, ugly, feel free. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This is me signing off. And let me know would you have given someone a second chance like that? And if yes, how much would you charge them? 5, 10, 10 times more? Someone who's very close to you. Imagine, very close. All right, love to hear from you. This is me signing off. You guys take care.